Welcome to the Work Hard, Play Hard podcast. My name is Rob Murgatroyd, and I am a former doctor turned lifestyle entrepreneur. Each week, I interview some of the best minds on the planet on the science of achievement and the art of fulfillment. Today's episode is a mini-sode that we call Fri-Date with the Wife. In these mini-sodes, my wife Kim and I deconstruct the strategies that we've developed over the last decade to not only grow personally, but to turn our struggles into lessons and create fulfillment in all areas of our lives. Excuses are over. It's time to live. Let's dig into today's topic. All right, before we jump into this episode, I want to invite you to be considered for my Work Hard, Play Hard Mastermind by completing an application at workhardplayhardmastermind.com. So this mastermind is not like any mastermind you may have been to or heard of, I promise you. This mastermind is for 6 to 7 figure entrepreneurs that are working too damn much and aren't taking the time to have amazing experiences around the world with an incredible tribe of people. So every 100 days or so, I drop you into new experiences that are specifically designed to elevate your thinking, to give you new ideas. Look, you get your best ideas not staring at a computer. And actually, this is the way high-level people really collaborate with each other. They do it over a glass of champagne, watching the sunset in the south of France. So if you are ready to do some fun stuff around the world and really, really want to level up your tribe in one shot, fill out an application at workhardplayhardmastermind.com. We'll jump on a call and we'll see if it's a good fit. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Well, Kimberly, Arizona, Murgatroyd.
Arizona.
I'm just getting myself comfortable. We just got back from a little trip to Arizona. We visited some friends there who made a move. They bought a beautiful freaking home, a home that really allows them to live the kind of life that they want to live. And that is what this episode is about. So, Kim, I'm going to let you
take it away.
Take it away.
All right. So yesterday we were driving back from Arizona and we got stuck in some traffic. So we had some extra time and we were talking about the conversations that happened over the 4 or 5 days that we were with our friends. And I think that's the thing about up-leveling your circle is you have different conversations and you can have conversations that when you come home, when you leave vacation or whatever, there is something different. There's a new idea. There's a new spark. There's a new amount of clarity in something. And so we were talking about this Dream Life course that we are currently building that you can opt into. Let me just give you that real quick. So if you want our free Dream Life Dream Business course, you can get it at texting us 310-388-9724. Now, what we were talking about yesterday is that course, how we're going to build it out in the components that we find incredibly important. And it came to me yesterday when we were driving. We built a business that supports the life we want to lead. And I think a lot of people do it the other way around. They see people being, they sell a book, they're a speaker, they're this, they're that. And they say, I want a New York Times bestselling book, and then I want to travel and be a speaker on stages all over the place and share my message and all of that. But they don't actually think about what the day-to-day, what the grind of that looks like, or what the building of that looks like, and if they're actually going to like that, because that's important. And so in our Dream Life program, you're going to learn how to first decide what life you want, and then how to reverse engineer that life.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people don't take the time to really look at what, we learned this from Mark Cuban. Mark was here last week in the house. Yeah. And he was explaining to me.
He wasn't here.
Kind of. He was on Shark Tank,
which made him creepy.
Which made him feel like he was here because he was in my living room and here. And what he said was, he asked one of the founders that he was considering investing in, what's the grind? And the person's like, what do you mean? He said, every business has a grind. What's the grind? What's the thing you have to wake up and do every single day, every single day, every single day? What does your grind look like? And at first, when I heard it, I was like, well, I don't really identify with grind because I don't want to have a life that has a grind. But then I realized...
So you had to build a business that allowed you to not have a grind.
Right. But what I realized is that there is however you want to phrase it, there is a grind that is associated, and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it what's the work look like, whatever the word is, you get the idea. What is the thing that you have to do? And like Kim said, very often, you have this vision, I want to be the number one speaker. Well, what does the grind look like to be a number one speaker? That looks like you pounding the pavement and doing speaking for free for anybody that'll show up in a local VFW until you can get Madison Square Garden, right? And so everybody looks at what does it look like to be Tony Robbins as an example on stage. Tony, I remember I did my first seminar with Tony in 1984, kids, and it was $99 for the Unlimited Power Weekend. And he was in the back with his then wife and his current wife. They just celebrated their 20th anniversary, so that'll give you an idea how long ago this was. He was sitting on the back in a card table trying to get you to come to the remaining 2 days. Now he's selling out Madison Square Garden, but the grind back then was very, very different.
But even the grind for him now. So this is the point. So some people, I was having a great conversation this weekend with Lori Harder about how people will leap into a career that they see someone else has. They see the highlight reel on the Instagram, and they see the speaking, they see the book deal, they see the this, the that. What they don't see behind the scenes is so much different. And then once they get into it and they realize what that grind looks like to build that machine, and then God forbid you become super successful. Like, let's take the idea of, I want a New York Times bestselling book. And then I want to go and do a TED Talk. And then I want to have speaking gigs. And then I want. Okay, what does that really look like? Well, first of all, you have to do all of the work to get yourself to the point of even writing a book. And then you have to get the publishing. And then you have to hope it's a good one and it hits the New York Times bestseller list. And then the speaking gigs. What if 50% of the days of the year you were on the road speaking? How would that fit into your lifestyle, your dream lifestyle? So the conversation we had is sometimes people begin these journeys to take over the world or whatever it is they want to do, and they don't take into account what kind of lifestyle that will lead, and they end up living a life by default that these YouTubers that are burning out left and right. There's articles on YouTube stars that are, doing makeup tutorials 10 a day. And then eventually they just burn out because they didn't set it up to work around their dream life. And that's where we're different. We literally sat down and we said, the first thing, we've talked about this before, what do you want? What do we want? And we created the life we wanted to the point that Rob was writing out paragraphs. I wake up in the morning in California. I smell the sea air. I sip the Lavazza coffee. And he goes through the entire day. I do business for 3 hours in the morning. And then I get into my car and I grab my surfboard. And he designed the life he wanted and then figured out how to build a business and fit it into it. I know I'm very chatty over this one, but yesterday we were talking about what would it look like if we did 6 months in Italy or, and kind of reversed it, lived in Italy and then vacationed in California. What would our day-to-day life look like? So we literally sat there and did the time. When would we have coaching calls? When would we record the podcast? When would Sophia be in school? How would we work our day? And we designed the day that we felt like it would be a perfect day. And then we have to say what business would fit into that model and how would we do it? And I think that's the piece that people don't do. They start with, I want to build an online course and make $1 million instead of, what do you actually want your life to look like? Yeah,
I think there's two parts to this. I think, part number one is what does what does the day-to-day look like Kim just described, using our visualization that we had prior to coming here. But I think the other part is when you decide and land on what it is that you want to do you really enjoy doing that thing? So you could say, I'll use my example. I work 3-4 hours in the morning, right? And then the rest of the day is mine. Well, if I did something for those 3-4 hours that I didn't love, that wouldn't be so much fun, just because I, had this perfect day visualized about how I was going to do it. A lot of times people want to do things online, right? They want to create courses and they want to do lots of different things. But entrepreneurship can be quite lonely when you are doing it mostly on your own. If you're creating a course or you're shooting videos for it, or even if you're, a quasi, we'll call it influencer. A lot of my friends who do stuff like that spend a lot of time behind closed doors, and you don't realize how isolated you are. So if you're the guy or girl that likes to be at the water cooler in an office when offices were open, socializing, and, you sort of like get this vision of what it looks like online, for somebody who's creating courses and an influencer, and in some ways, they're just showing you what they want you to see, right? They're showing you the 15 seconds on their Insta story of what they want you to see. But their day-to-day is spent alone, trying to come up with content and then going out and producing that content. So very often people don't realize it, and sometimes I have people who do nothing on social media and live extraordinarily vibrant lives because they're busy living their lives. So
because they're not on social media.
Because they're not on social media. So the point is that, number one, you've got to, craft, I believe, what your day looks like. And like Kim said, we're going to walk you through the process of how to do that in our free Dream Life course. But more than that, really dig into and identify what is the thing that you have to do. If you're a real estate agent, you've got to get listings and you got to make sales, right? It's as simple as that. What does the grind look like for what you want to do? And then determine whether or not that's something that you enjoy, and if it's something that you're good at. It's very easy to come up with, well, I can do that, but you may enjoy it and you may not be good at it, or you may be good at it, but you may not enjoy it. Like I was really, really good at chiropractic, but I didn't enjoy it.
It's funny because a lot of people live, I think, completely by default in our country, especially. So, you have this basic 9 to 5. You go in, you have the morning through the afternoon. So before you have breakfast and maybe you got up and worked out, maybe you didn't. Then at 5, you come home, maybe you work out, maybe you don't. You have dinner, you go to bed, you do it all again. And then you wait for the weekend. And then it's TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Or thank God it's Fri-Date.
Thank God it's Fri-Date.
Thank God it's Friday. And then it's, when's my next 1-week vacation? And that is choosing a job that pays the bills. Now, we've all done it. We all have to do it at some point. But choosing a job that pays the bills leaves you by default living a life. It might leave you stuck in an area. I mean, when we had the medical clinic, we were stuck. We couldn't leave Georgia, really. It was really tough to figure that out. So it locked us into an area. It locked us into hours. It locked us into this default lifestyle. And Stupid Idea Time is all about flipping everything on its head. It's about, what if I didn't live the 9 to 5, waiting for the weekend, waiting for my one vacation a year? Like, what if I didn't do that? What if I did something different? What if I woke up tomorrow and I wrote my perfect dream life? Like, what would that day look like? And, the other thing where people go wrong is they create these dreams of, I want $1 million, or I want 6 figures, or I want this, or I want that. And it's this financial goal. And that's not what dreams are made of. I want to show you, and it just happens to be right here. Rob has a vision book. Okay. So I don't know if we can see this. The vision.
You want to do
fold it? Yeah.
That way.
So there you go. And the vision book, and for those listening in audio, let me give it to you. So the vision book basically has a house that we want that has an ocean view. It has a outdoor living area that we are obsessed with. It has a old vintage funky Jeep that we can throw the surfboard in and the dog and the munchkin and roll around. It has us spending the summers in Greece. It has us in Tuscany, and it has us having a Tuscan villa. Nowhere on there does it say, we will make $1 million and that's my vision board and that's my dream life. This is literally our life. We want to jump in the Jeep, go to the beach, surf, go up and down the coast of California. We want to have outdoor living space because it's beautiful here. We want to see the ocean. We want to watch the sunset. We want to summer in Greece. We want to do Tuscany in the fall and go truffle hunting in wine harvesting and all of that. We want a Tuscan villa to be able to have our family and pay forward and leave as a legacy through our family. That is the dream life that we're after. And now the next step is then to play stupid idea time and reverse engineer exactly how we're going to get that. But I think people do it the other way. And that my whole point today is don't live your life by default because you decided to build this business.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the other things is we'll get to if you do our free Dream Life course, we'll talk about it. And that is, sort of the idea of how much it costs for you to live your dream life and reverse engineering how much money you need. I used to come up with this arbitrary number of how much money I thought I needed.
I will make $3 million.
Yeah, I want $3 million. I want $5 million. But there wasn't any rocket fuel behind it, and there wasn't a reason. Like if you ask me why, it would be because $1 million is a lot of money or $3 million is a lot. But it wasn't like, okay, what exactly are you going to do with it? So once you follow the first step of identifying what that dream is, then and only then, we think, you can get to the next step, which is sort of reverse engineering how much it costs to have that dream. And very often, when you really get clear on what the dream is, it's not quite as expensive as you think it's going to be. It's not cheap. Look, I mean, if you want $1 million villa and a house on the ocean, it's not going to be cheap. But it's not going to be as exorbitant as you think it's going to be, one. And two, when you're crystal clear on it, you get really creative of finding ways to be able to fund it because you're passionate about it, right? That's the rocket fuel. I want to encourage you to, when you map out what your day is going to look like, to try different things. With this pandemic, I was forced into doing things that are different, like we all have been. And, the gyms are closed here in California and have been for, I think, 6 months now. So it's forced me to work out outside. Well, as a result of taking a bite out of the working outside apple, I don't think I'll ever go back inside of a gym. I mean, thankfully, we have, great weather out here and I'm working out on the beach, but it's allowed me to realize, oh, wow, one of the big components of my day that makes me happy is actually not only being out on the beach, but working out on the beach. Another thing is, we were talking about regrets, in the words of Frank Sinatra, regrets, I've had a few, and not many, or too few to mention. I can actually sing the whole song now if you want. But one of those regrets for me is I used to DJ as a hobby and I really miss it. And we are looking at a way that we can bring back some DJ equipment into the house, not vibrate the shit out of the neighborhood like I did in the last one. I had to soundproof everything, but bring it back because that's something that I want to add in my day. So consider when you're creating this cocktail of what your day is going to look like, that you not only include in what your day looks like in terms of the economics of it, but what does your day look like in terms of fun, hobbies, and other areas outside of your life. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I said, Alicia Keys has got a great course on songwriting in Masterclass. And he's like, I can't do any more courses. And I was like, why? He said, because I'm working on so many right now. I said, tell me the courses that you're working on that are outside of business. And he said, 0. And I said, so why don't you do one less business course and one more course that doesn't make any money? But what it does is put you into a different frame of mind, a different idea so that you can come back to your business with new perspective and new ideas. Where we are, as an American culture, Canadian culture, Australian culture, we are very, very focused on the dollar. And I will argue that if you look, you're an entrepreneur. If you're listening to the show, you are an entrepreneur, or you certainly have it in your DNA to be one. Nobody needs to motivate you. Nobody needs to get you to work harder. You're doing it already. I know you're doing it. But I really want to encourage you to look at the areas, whether it's cooking or taking an Alicia Keys masterclass, to get your mind off of what you're doing and come back to it with fresh eyes as you're creating this vision.
That's such a great nugget in there. And I didn't expect our conversation today to kind of go that direction, but this is kind of what the course that we're building is all about, and what I think is so unique. I haven't seen anybody put it together like this. And when I was talking with our friends this week about it and kind of laying it out, they were like, yes, oh my God, yes. Because people do things, right? And we do things. The vision board, the affirmations, the manifestation, the dreamline, all the things that you do, the journaling, the courses, you do all of these things, but you don't usually do them and tie them together in the way that needs to be done in order to accelerate the end result that you're after. And you kind of dabble in this and you dabble in that, and you don't realize that doing what he just said, taking time to do something fun, do a hobby, do something that brings you joy, you don't realize the effect that's going to have. But if you understand vibration, and we've talked about this a lot, if you understand manifestation, if you understand all of that, you know that if he goes down into the DJ booth for 40 minutes and just gets into that music, literal vibration, it's going to elevate his vibration. He's going to come back in. He can read his dream day story. He can meditate and manifest it, and then go back into the job, go back into the work, go back into the grind at a different vibration, at a different level, and create what he's actually after. And that's what we are going to bring in this course, this free course that's different, is how to weave all of these little things you found together and passionately put them together into what your life actually looks like to be able to go forward and manifest the dream life. Because again, the dream life isn't to have $1 million. It's, what is that $1 million? What do you think it's going to do for you? What are you going to have, be, or do that's going to shift to be able to live the life you want with fulfillment and less regret? That's what this is about. It's not just about creating some online course so someone thinks you're cool, so you can hang out in the cool crowd and be on Instagram and have 1 million followers. That's not what this is about, because those people are burning out. They are burning out. They don't want to do one more course. They don't want to do one more swipe up. Like, they're burning out. Fulfillment is where it's at. And starting your journey, starting the next evolution of your business, starting whatever you see that you know you're meant for more, starting that next thing at the place of, what do I want, and what do I want my day to look like? How do I want that to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? Start it with there, and then reverse engineer it.
Yeah, we'll leave you with this. Deep inside you, you are getting inklings. Let's take it away from business for a second. Deep inside of you, you are getting inklings for different things that you want to be doing. I don't know if it's baking sourdough bread.
I like that.
I don't know if it's gardening. I don't know if it's DJing. I don't know if it's surfing, right?
You basically named all of our hobbies.
Right? I'm giving you the things that
we love.
That we love. But you have your version of those things. I don't know if it's a railroad train that you're into. There's grown adults who are excited about creating, which, by the way, it's pretty amazing when you see somebody who actually is into that.
Like a model train set.
They create a whole city.
Like a legit city.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But whatever that thing is, somehow the idea of stamp collecting and coin collecting and toy trains, they're gone, right? We just don't do it anymore. We work and we watch Netflix, and sometimes we chill, you get the idea.
Sometimes he hopes he chills.
Sometimes I hope I chill. I ask. I don't always, asking it's not always given. So the point is that there is a still small... I
think I'm blushing, and now I'm on video, so now you can see it. Me blush on video.
There is a still small voice that is inside of you that's saying, hey, look over here. Remember you used to like DJing? Why don't you pick that back up? Hey, look over here. Remember you were a stamp collector? Listen to that voice and take a bite out of that apple. All right, that's it. Any parting words, honey?
Yes.
Yes.
Parting words are, if this spoke to you, if this is slightly even remotely interesting to you, and you're tired of living your life by default, then jump on our list and text Dream Life. I didn't say that before. Dream Life to 310-388-9724.
That's it, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you
next time.
Bye-bye. All right, thanks for listening. If you love this episode and you know someone that needs some help in either stepping up their work hard game or their play hard game, it would mean the world to me if you shared this podcast with them to help me get this movement out there. So if you like what you heard, head on over to iTunes, take 30 seconds, and leave me a 5-star review, and I will be forever grateful. So until the next episode, excuses are over. It's time to live.